Hello, my creative friends. Dr. Manette here. I wanted to take a minute to address a couple of questions from Angeline that came up in the comments about why does art matter and what difference does it make for me and for the world to make art on a regular basis. And I think these are such powerful and inspiring questions that I'm going to share my answers to. And I think that why art matters is different for different people, but I do have a global perspective as well as a very personal and individual perspective on why art matters. So, Angeline, thank you so much for asking this question. And for me, I think I would change the question just a little bit to say, why does creativity matter? Because art is simply one expression of our own creative selves. And for me, the thing that matters the most is that we're tapped in and connected to our own sort of inner well of creativity. Art making happens to be one of the many ways that I love to express my creativity. I also love to do that through cooking or entertaining. And definitely painting is, and writing. In fact, they take up so much space in my life. I wish I had more time to be painting and writing. And I find myself going back and forth between the two. But for me, the thing that shifted when I started to really prioritize art making as essential to my own well being really made some light bulbs go off for me around why art matters. So I think that art matters because as humans, we love beauty, we love creative process, we're naturally creative beings. Art is a very visual representation of what we see or our inner states of being, all the way back to the cave paintings where people were visually storytelling on the walls of caves, all the way through the different very representational forms of art, abstract forms of art. And today, this is really showing up in so many ways in the mixed media world online that I am happy to be part of because I love the integration of a lot of different types of art making into my own personal work. But why does it matter? One, because as human beings, we are innately creative and we are innately brilliant at artistry. Our artistry manifests differently in the world depending on what our particular skills, talents, and genius are. Again, for me, I love to make art. For someone else, it might be gardening, it might be sewing, dance, photography, music. There's many expressions of art. When we're not making time for our own creative expression, we often feel stifled, unfulfilled, less than. When we're tapped into that inner flow of our own creative genius and creative expression, everything feels easier. Problem solving feels easier. I think joy, it feels more accessible. Art making is an incredibly valuable way to work through our emotions, which is why I created this mini sampler on creative meditation and mandalas. Coloring mandalas is one way of healing ourselves back into wholeness from whatever state of just stress, anxiety, grief, loss, yeah, overwhelm, right? All those things that allows us to focus, to calm ourselves down. It's a form of active meditation. It's another reason why it matters because there are so many both scientific and spiritual studies that have been done on the benefits to our brain of all kinds of creative play, but coloring mandalas especially. How does my art making impact the world globally? So for me, I really believe in the ripple effect and the ripple impact of our own joy and our own fulfillment in life. So as a person who feels fully authentic and self-expressed, who's connected to my creativity, I have more to give when my own personal well of self-care and well-being is full, when I'm healthy physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, then I can support others. But for me, the main thing about creativity is I believe that when we're all tapped into our own creative genius, we can see innovative new solutions for all the world's problems. But that has to start with me and my own well-being before I'm ready to go out and contribute to what's happening in the world. I also think that art matters globally because it inspires others. It might inspire others to make their own art. It might inspire others to find their own path to creative expression. So to me, art is an incredible teacher. It's an incredible communicator. It's an incredible form of, as I said before, this active meditation, especially for those of us that really struggle with monkey mind and calming ourselves down. Art making allows me to quiet and be focused and present in the moment and not constantly in that juggling game of looking past and future and not being present to what's happening or what I'm experiencing in my own body right now. I think the world is a more beautiful place when people are making and sharing their art, whether that's on stage, in a movie theater, on a street corner, on a big mural on the side of the wall, in a museum, or just personally for themselves and a small community of friends in their home studios. So to me, art making is an essential form of radical self-care, and I think it matters deeply that we connect to that aspect of ourselves. So why do we stop connecting to that aspect of ourselves that's innately creative? Think back to when you were a young child. Young children don't have an inner critic. They don't care what things look like. They don't color inside the lines or make things look like realistic representations. And it's been, studies show that by the time they start to hit third, fourth, fifth grade, creativity starts to wane. And this usually happens because of criticism and judgment from peers, from art teachers, from parents. That doesn't look like a horse. Or, you know what, like, you're really just not very good at that. Why don't you go find something else to do? So I've heard a lot of horror stories over the years about all the different Brene Brown calls them creativity scars that we carry with us. And part of what I love about the meditation and mandala process is that it allows us to begin to heal those creativity scars and to find our way back to the truth of our own best form of creative expression. So hopefully that answers a few of your questions, Angeline, and thank you for allowing me to share a little bit more about why I think this matters so much. Hope you're all enjoying coloring. Please share what you're creating in the student space, showcase space below, so that we can really honor, acknowledge, and celebrate what you're creating. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.